Looks like we're live. Hello everyone and welcome to yet another Azuzin session. Let's make a little bit of announcement and officially start the stream. So, you know, the usual stuff, red circle and live on Twitch. And what are we doing today on Twitch at a television website? So today we continue developing a search engine in Rust. How about that? I'm gonna give the link to the place where we do all of these things, twitch.tv/sorting, and I'm gonna ping everyone who's interested in being pinged. There we go, the stream has officially started. So today we continue developing Rust, which is the search engine in Rust that we've been developing for quite some time already, right? So essentially the idea is basically to give it a folder, right? And the search engine would automatically index that folder and start serving an HTTP server where you can go and put a search query into the prompt and it will search within the files in that specific folder. That's basically the idea. So far it supports text files and XML files, right? A little bit of a markdown files and stuff like that, which doesn't really make it particularly useful for my case. I'm primarily making this thing for my case, right? So one of the primary use case for this thing for me would be to actually support PDF files, right? And I've spent actually quite some time researching how can I add support for PDF files to this specific thing. Right, I tried different approaches. I tried to parse PDF manually. It turned out to be a huge pain in the ass. And I tried different libraries, right, and all of them are very difficult to work with, and they're like basically a bit bloated for what I want to do, because in my case I don't really need to, for example, you know, create PDF libraries or display them, right? I only need to read them. I only need to extract text out of them. I don't even need images yet, right? So I only need to be able to extract text out of them. But majority of the libraries that I've seen, they basically give you a shit ton of dependencies to render all of that, like a Qt, JTK, a Cairo, and like everything. So they basically are like little PDF viewers as a library. Like, and why do I need that? I just want to extract the text out of those things. And I think finally I found a library with a good balance of the functionality that I need and the dependencies that it introduces. Right. So hello everyone, welcome to the stream. So we've got a couple of subs. Thank you so much, Start Over, for tier 1 subscription without any message, but no message is required. Junior Fretas, thank you so much for tier 1 subscription with the message at Sodium Cool, indeed. Thank you. Right, so let's take a look at this search engine, right? So it's pretty straightforward actually. Right, so you can find the source code of this thing here. I'm gonna copy paste it in the chat, and for people who watch on YouTube, you can actually find it in the description, right? So let's go. Let me start TeamUX. I'm gonna go to the Rust and let's see what we have. So I have docs.jl, which is the documentation for OpenGL, right? So, and what I want to be able to do, I want to be able to do run. Of course, you want to do that with the release flag to enable as many optimizations as possible, right? And then we're gonna say serve docs.jl, right? There we go. So, and it will build the project first of all. Cargo needs to build everything, and then it will start indexing the files within that folder, right? But what's interesting is that recently we implemented multi-threading, meaning that while it's indexing, we can actually open the web server and actually start searching within that thing. So now I can search for something like texture, right? I want to find something that is related to texture, and there we go. We find GL bind, or something like GLSL, linear interpolation, right? So linear interpolation, and there we go, we found it, and it's already finished indexing, right? So essentially, for quite some time, it was not particularly convenient to use because you had to manually start indexing and then wait until the indexing has finished, and only then you'll be able to serve. Now it's just a single step. You just serve a folder and it indexes everything automatically, right? You can just like open the website and just search within this entire thing, right? So, what library have we found? Right, so we did a little bit of streams where we did research on what kind of PDF libraries we want to use, and on one of the streams we discovered this beautiful library called lopdf, which seems like whatever I actually need in here, right? So I'm gonna paste the link here in the chat, and for people on YouTube, of course, it's going to be available in the description. Right, and it seems to be like exactly what I want. Right, if we scroll down, there's instantly examples, which I absolutely love. So here we create PDF files, which I don't really need, but I mean, if it doesn't introduce that many dependencies for that, I'm not gonna mind. So merging PDFs, and do we have reading PDFs? There should be something for reading PDF. You can modify PDF, right? So for instance, you can quite easily load a PDF, right? And you can just replace the text. You can just replace the text. And if it's that easy to replace the text, I'm pretty sure it should be that easy, similarly easy to, you know, extract the text. And then you can even save this entire thing. It's just like pretty straightforward. Look at that. Isn't that cool? I think it's pretty freaking cool. So that's exactly what we need. So let's give it a try. Let's give it a try, shall we? There is even FAQ. Why does this library keep everything in memory as high-level objects until finally serializing the entire document? Normally, a PDF document won't be very large, ranging from tens of kilobytes and hundreds of megabytes. Memory size is not a bottleneck for today's computer. By keeping the whole document in memory, stream length can be pre-calculated, no need to use references objects for length entry. The resulting PDF file is smaller for distribution and faster for PDF consumers to process. Producing is a one-time effort, while consuming is many more. Truly based. This is the most based answer I've ever read in my entire life. It's just like, why do you read everything into the memory? Because modern computers can afford that. That's it. Conversation is over. Because your computer has 16 gigabytes of RAM. Are you gonna have a 16 gigabytes PDF? No. It's gonna be kilobytes. It's that simple. I already like this. I already like this library. So that's cool. So that's precisely what we need. Anyway, so let's go ahead and try to add that. So I'm going to do cargo add. I hope we won't have to actually download the cargo index or crates index as we did like the last time, because like, it's, I don't know. So lopdf. Please don't. Okay. It's not really updating the index. Okay, so it's resolving data or something like that, right? It's not that much. Okay, so we can live with that, hopefully. Yes. So there's some things in here. I wonder what is a pom passer. Pom passer. I don't really know what it is, but anyway. So let's try to build documentation, right? So let's do cargo doc. It's not that many dependencies actually. So it introduced just 18 crates, right? I think something like Poppler, when we added Poppler, it introduced like 115 packages or something like that. I don't quite remember. Oh my god, what the hell is going on? The chat is so laggy, I accidentally pinned the message, duh. Well, I mean, that's the pin message now, so... Thank you, Twitch. Like, it was just so lagging, I was trying to adjust my window, and because it was lagging, the interface was jumping around, and I accidentally pinned the message, duh. So, duh, indeed. That's a very cool message to pin, actually. Now it's lagging even more, yeah. It's still building shit ton of dependencies in here, so it's like 120 or something. How much time do you spend programming off stream? Do I look like a person who's sitting with a timer measuring how much time you spent like programming? Like, I mean, I might as well actually measure how much time I spent eating. Like, why? Why do that? What's the point of measuring that? Like, it's just like, what? Anyway, so let me see. What I want to do, I want to do cargo doc open. So what do we have? Let's try to find a low PDF. Low PDF. There we go. So we have a low PDF. Okay, cool. So here we have just these examples, which is you know, the examples that we found in the README. So I'm pretty sure it's like straight up README essentially. So to load this thing, we have to use document load. Wish I had a mouse with not broken wheel. Document load, right? So it was load. Document. You can load from memory. There's a load mem. And it just results in a document. Okay, so what do we have in a document? It's actually kind of similar to what I saw in PDFRS, right? So it's like this dictionary, trailer, like objects and stuff like that. So I remember it had replace text, right? So here's the replace text. Does it have anything for getting the text? That's the most important thing. So you can get pages. Wow. You can extract text. Holy shit. You can just extract text, but you have to provide the pages. Is there any way to just extract everything? Or maybe, can I get the pages? Alright, so I can get the pages. It's object IDs, and object IDs, I suppose, are just some sort of numbers. So it's not particularly interesting. So, yeah, it's not convenient. Right, so that I have to provide like pages in here, but I want to provide all of the pages. We'll see, we'll see. Okay, so let's actually give it a try. I think I need some PDF file, right? So I do remember having a PDF file somewhere in the PDF Rust PDF hacking, right? So this is going to be that. Do we have Stallman? Yeah, so it's basically a Stallman PDF. So let's actually go in here, and this is a Cirrus, and I'm gonna also do it like that. So what do we have in here? Stallman PDF. So this is a famous, you know, quote from Richard Stallman. So, and let me try to maybe load it up. So I'm gonna go to Cirrus. So surf. So let's introduce another subcommand in here. So this is going to be a PDF subcommand. And the first thing we want to do, we want to probably read the path to the PDF, right? So I'm going to unwrap this entire thing. And if the path was not provided, we're going to say something like eprintln error, no PDF file was provided. No PDF file was provided. And then we're going to just exit with non-zero exit code essentially, right? So this is a PDF path, right? There we go, PDF path. So I suppose we just need to use a low PDF document, right? So low PDF document, and then document load PDF path. So I suppose I will have to actually pass it by a reference, right? And this thing can fail, so we have to do map error. Get the error, the potential error that may happen, right? And then we're gonna say error could not load PDF file, PDF path, of course, for a reason described in here. There we go. So let me put it in here. So this is going to be the question mark. So this is going to be, I don't know, let's call it PDF. So this is a PDF path, and this is PDF. And we probably want to extract some sort of information, right? So there was a way to get pages, right? So yeah, let's get pages. And this is a B-tree map. And what I'm thinking is that, oh, so there's a page iterator. No, okay. So let's do PDF get pages, and I want to actually take the length of this entire thing, right? So I'm going to take the length of this entire thing, and I'm going to print ln something like PDF path contains count amount of pages. All right, so I'm going to equal count like so, and I think that is basically it. So let's try to compile this entire stuff. So I'm going to do cargo build, and there we go. We've got some subs for Dakin. Thank you so much for Twitch Prime subscription with the message Rust equals love-hate relationship. Yeah, so you hate Rust because it's genuinely difficult language to use, but you love it because of the peer pressure. So that's basically how it works. You peer pressured into loving it, but you hate it because it's genuinely difficult language to actually use. So we're compiling everything. Okay, so it doesn't compile, so let me see what's going on here. So remove semicolon. Oh yeah, that's true. Okay, that was the entire mistake. It required so much text to explain that I have to remove semicolon from here. It's insane. Anyway. So, okay, yeah. So what do we have in here? I'm gonna do cargo run, and what does it say? Yeah, no subcommand is provided, so let's provide PDF. No PDF file is provided, so let's provide Stallman PDF, and it contains one page. It in fact contains one page. So let's actually try to find like a bigger PDF. I think a good test example would be something like maybe, let's actually Google it up. Sparks of AGI PDF, right? So on archive. So the latest hot, you know, paper that everybody is talking about, this one. I think it's rather big. It's like over 100 pages or something like that. That would be actually kind of cool to test out. So it's basically research on like early experiments with GPT-4. So let me download that. So I need to actually put it in chat, and maybe I'm gonna also put it in the references because I'm kind of referring to it. Yeah. So 155 pages. Holy shit! What the fuck? Is that even a paper? This is a mini book. They literally wrote like a mini book about GPT-4. Oh shit, that's a lot. Anyway, so it's 16 gigabytes. Yeah, this entire paper is actually 16 gigabytes, right? It's actually 16 gigabytes. Okay, so let me download this entire thing. So I'm gonna go to here. That's very interesting. It's like, do people even usually write such a huge papers? Like, I'm not a scientist, like I don't really know, but that looks a lot. Like, it's basically a book, right? It's basically a book. So we get some subs, actually gifted subs from Anonymous Gifter. Thank you so much, Anonymous Gifter, for giving 2 community subs. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Really appreciate that. All right. I suppose okay, so they disallow like downloading it like that or something? I don't know, but I mean, I can just save it, can't I? Yeah, I can just save it. So they disallow using like wget or something. That's kind of funny. Okay, so let's move. What was that? What was the name? 2.3 something something something. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, let's say that. So this one should have like 155 pages, right? So let's do cargo run PDF 2.3, and there we go. So I wonder how much time it will take to actually do that. Running. Seriously, it's taking that much time to actually process this PDF. Well, I mean, it's unoptimized. Okay, so let's actually try to make it optimized. Okay. Whew, I was hoping for a quick stream today. I thought it's gonna be like a easy walk. Just slapping this library on my project and forgetting about it. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy. Just indexing a small PDF, yeah. Don't use large PDFs. So, and it's basically compiling everything with release. I wonder how much time it will take. Yeah, we're gonna have a lot of rants instead. Right. So maybe let's actually bring the chat in here while we're compiling this entire stuff. So how huge it is in megabytes? It's 7 megabytes actually. It shouldn't be that large, I think. It shouldn't be that large. Alright, so we're running this entire thing. I can't... Okay, so... Alright, that's cool. It was reasonable speed at least. It is a bit concerning, not gonna lie. Right. It is a bit concerning that it takes this much time to just process this PDF, because I can open this PDF with new PDF. Like, there you go, I just opened it. So... And I can, like, browse it. So it means it's possible to just open it and start browsing it. So... I don't know, man, I don't know. Alright, so I'm a little bit disappointed in this specific library, but maybe I don't have any choice. Maybe I just have to stick with it. So let's see what we can do in here. Right, so we want to be able to extract the text out of these things, right? So we have the method extract text, right? So there's a get pages. Where is the extract text? Extract text, I said. There we go. So, but that means we have to provide the pages, right? We have to provide the pages. So does it mean I have to literally construct a vector out of those pages? Or do I have to do something else? It's just like really weird to me, but anyway. So maybe one of the things I can do is just basically save the length of this entire thing, right? I can save the length of it. But maybe getting the pages itself, right, is a very expensive operation because it builds some sort of a tree, right? So get, where is the get pages? There we go. So it needs to build some sort of a tree. So maybe because of that, it's not particularly good idea. If you want to have like just the length, like the amount of pages, maybe this is not a great way of doing that. Right. So maybe that's basically the point. So I need to go through that. Get object, get page annotation, get page content. Nah. So I'm just looking for a method that's something like get page count or whatever. So this one is interesting. Get page contents, and this is just ID. Okay, let's try to extract the text. Right, so let's try to extract the text. We're gonna go and simply try to do something like PDF extract text. And I suppose I'm gonna provide just like a page 0, right? So, and this entire thing may fail, by the way, right? So it may actually fail. So we have to do map error. Okay, so ePrintLN error could not extract text out of PDF path because of this error, right? So, and here we have the content, right. So maybe I'm gonna print something like this. So this is gonna be println content of page 0, right? And we're gonna just do content, right? So let's try first with a Stallman, right? So because I don't want to just don't want to unleash this entire thing on a huge PDF yet, because I don't know how much time it will take to just do that. Alright, so let's go. So this one is unused, but that's fine. We don't really care about that. We don't really care about that. Right. Page 0 could not be found. Please don't freaking tell me. Don't freaking tell me that internally you index pages starting from 1. I mean, from the user perspective, yeah, we usually index pages in PDFs starting from 1, sure. But as an interface to the programmer, sure. I mean, I don't mind. I don't mind. So let's actually call it 1. This is useless! Yo! This is so fucking useless! I love it! It just concatenated all of that shit without regards with white spaces. Wow! What the fuck? Oh man. I love it. I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. I have no idea how to... Is that like always like that? Let's actually try that huge PDF, right? So let's see if it's gonna be any better. So as far as I know, this is primarily... Yeah, it just hates all of the white spaces. It just hates all of the white spaces. You know what's funny? There is a utility called pdftotext, right? So there's literally a thing called pdftotext, and it's written in C, but it uses Poppler as the dependency, right? And Poppler is a little bit overbloated for what I need, right? So because it just contains an entire renderer for this entire stuff, right? So I'm gonna actually give this link in the description just in case anyone is interested, right? So I'm gonna put it in here, PDF library, another PDF library, right? So this is one PDF library that we tried so far, and this is another PDF library. Okay, so, and if I remember correctly, that specific thing, PDF to text, right? If you just do Stallman on this entire thing, I'm pretty sure it will work. So it didn't output anything. I suppose it created a TXT file. Yeah, it created a TXT file, and as you can see, it actually managed to put spaces correctly. So that means it's not an impossible computer science, like unsolved problem, right? You know what I mean? If a small C program can do that, well, it's not really that small, right? So if you do something like which PDF to text, right? So you basically find this path, right, and then you do something like LDD, you would notice the amount of dependencies for this entire thing, right? So it depends on Poppler, libgpeg, libz, and all of these like dependencies. Not that many of them actually, right? So yeah, so it works with the images, right? But it doesn't really need to. But it's just like whatever it comes, like it gets whatever it gets from the Poppler itself. So we can try to convert PDF to text, something like to, you know, this thing. Right, I wonder how much time it will take. And it's reasonably fast. So for this thing, just converting that PDF from PDF to text is faster than for that library to simply read and count the amount of pages. Just say. Right. And if you open this entire thing, this is actually pretty good. Like you can, well, I mean, that's kind of, oh, this is the contents, right? So I suppose this is the contents. Yeah, there we go. You can even kind of read that. You can index that. We can try to call this utility as an external thing, which is kind of dumb, but why not? And again, as far as I know, it uses Poppler. Maybe we should give a Poppler a try, right? So the main problem with Poppler is that it's in GPL, right? So it uses GPL. So that means if I'm gonna link with that library, I have to release my entire source code in like with GPL, which is, I guess, fine. I don't really care, right? So for me, it's just like a small code that I write for myself to index this entire thing. So maybe that's fine. So, and I haven't tried Poppler really. So maybe I should give it a try, right? So let's go ahead and give it a try. So because this library is it's kind of too slow, I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of too slow. And also it doesn't really handle the text properly, like at all. But the problem with the Poppler is that it can take too much time to do all of that. So let's do Poppler, right? So let's see. Okay, so that was actually faster than I expected. This is because we already did that. Yeah, so we already have Poppler sort of downloaded and stuff. MIT is freer than GPL. Yeah, it's true, but I think that kind of forces me to change the license to GPL. So we're waiting for Rust build one more time. So how are you guys doing? Doesn't GPL just say that the license must be free? No, GPL says that you have to release your code under GPL as well, and this is the same license. And this is why people were calling GPL a virus, right? You just add a little bit of the GPL code to your project and you must actually release it under GPL, just like instantly. So this is like the main criticism of GPL. So it just infects your entire code and there's nothing you can do about it. Okay, so it seems to be done. Probably have to wait a little bit more because I need to build the docs. Right, yeah, okay, so let's build the docs as well. Cairo OS, of course. Yeah, that's what you need if you want to just read the text out of the PDF. You need Cairo OS. More like Cairo my ass. Our ass. Okay, comrade. Okay, so we're done. Cool. Can I do open? Okay, so did it open? I mean, I probably didn't have to do that because it was already kind of open, but that's fine. Poppler. So Poppler document. Okay. So can I just like new from file with the password? Would you look at that? You can provide the password. That's fancy. Okay. From data. So what if I don't provide the password? All right. So what if I don't need the password? Do I still have to provide that? Well, maybe not. I don't know. Okay. So let's give it a try. I'm actually excited. So maybe that shit will work for us. And I removed all of the code for the command, so I have to retype it again. Maybe not again. I'm not gonna actually parse the input. So let's actually do something like PDF path, and let's assign something like a Stallman PDF, right? So maybe I don't need this stuff in here. Use Poppler and Poppler document, right? So here's the Poppler document. Poppler document from file. It's actually new from file, right? So new from file. PDF path, right? So this is going to be that map error. And I'm going to accept the error, and here we want to log that eprintln. That will go error, could not read file PDF path because of this stupid reason. Why Emacs did you open that? Please never open that ever again. Let PDF. Okay, that's cool. So once we got this entire, well, I mean, you have to provide the password, but I don't really have a password. Right, password. Okay. Password. Can I just provide it as an empty thing? We can try to read the source code. Okay. So where does it pass the password? I want to copy paste this thing. Password invalid. So it possibly contains null characters. Oh, okay. So it needs to convert it to a C string, and so on and so forth. Poppler document new from file. Okay, so it basically passes it to a C function. To understand what C function does with the password, we need to find this documentation. Right, I'm pretty sure we should be able to just find something about it. There we go, Poppler document, reference document stuff. Okay, so let's read what we have in here. Creates a new Poppler document. If null is returned, the error will be set, blah blah blah, possible errors. Password to unlock the file with or null. Okay. So, but there is no way for me to actually set it as null, right? Because I literally cannot provide it as a null, can I? There's literally no way to do that. Seriously. But I mean, maybe just empty is going to work. Trapped, yeah, so you could have, I mean, who created wrappers for that? You could have just made it an option. Like, why didn't you just made, instead of this, just option? And that actually conveys nullable, because option was literally created for nullable types. Maybe it ignores the maybe. So we'll have to find out. But it's so weird. Right, so... anyways, so it's just like, maybe I'm being OCD like that all the time. Maybe it doesn't matter, but it's just like it bothers me every time I see something like this. Okay, so what kind of stuff can we have in here? We can get the page, right? So, okay, but we can get the amount of pages. Look at that. There's literally a method, get n pages. You can just get, you know, the amount of pages. Okay, so get n, right, pages. Println, so pdf path contains count pages, right? And a count is equal to this entire thing. There we go. So hopefully this thing is going to work. Cargo run PDF, and we don't really have to provide anything, right? Because I hard-coded this entire stuff. And of course in here, I supposed to return OK unit. So we got some subs. Yo, money. Thank you so much, Jorbin Bjergsvere. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. I'm really sorry if I didn't. I didn't speak English at all. But thank you so much for Twitch Prime. Thank you. I'm just realizing that I cannot pronounce any of the nicknames that subscribe to me. I'm sorry. Look at that. This thing contains one page. Okay, so let's try to test that on a bigger thing, right? So it's not particularly good. Okay, so that means just adding empty password worked, right? So I didn't have to worry about this kind of stuff. But I still find this kind of interface concerning, right? So because in the original, you know, interface, you're supposed to use null to ignore the password, and you could have at least reflected that in the Rust binding. And in Rust binding, it's relatively easy to reflect that. Just make it an optional, right? So just for the peace of mind, if you know what I mean, right? Because it's a kind of like, it's a little bit confusing, right? Just a little bit confusing. So let me do the following thing. I want to parse the arguments anyways, because it will allow me to change the document without recompiling the entire thing, right? Print ln error, no PD input was provided, or maybe is provided. I don't speak English, unfortunately. I wish I could speak English. Unfortunately, I do not. How do you all speak English? It's such a difficult language to speak, honestly. Okay, so let's give it a try. Do you auto-generate Rust bindings? No, I just use whatever there was on the crates.io. So I'm not really sure if it was auto-generated. I think it was written by hands, to be fair. Yeah, I don't understand how people speak English yet, same. Okay, so let's try Stallman one more time, right? So this is Stallman. This is not what I wanted, but... That makes sense! Look at that speed! So, I was actually thinking that I'm gonna try lopdf on today's stream and I'm gonna recommend this library. I do not recommend this library, I'm sorry. Maybe I'm doing something wrong, but I just did the most obvious thing that we would do for the first time trying this library, and it didn't work. So, this library, you know, Poppler just worked. So... And it's written in C, by the way. It is written in C. lopdf is written in Rust. Can your Rust do that? Blazingly fast as C. Yeah, sure, buddy. Anyway, so I'm sorry, I'm joking. Rust can be actually as fast or even faster as C. But the problem is that you have to know what you're doing. So that's the problem with Rust. Right, so it actually devalues all of the benefits, right? If you don't know what you're doing, you really have to understand like low-level programming and need to understand what you're doing to actually gain the speed. Right, so that's kind of the problem with Rust. Okay, so that's pretty cool. Well, what can we do in here? Right, so I can get the page, so I can get the amount of pages and I can get the specific page. Can I get the text out of... I can just get the text. Why the freak this interface is so goddamn simple? I can just get the page. Okay, so that's too easy. Too easy. Piece of cake. Yeah. Okay, so 0, and we're gonna do that. I wonder, by the way, can I index them by 0? Right. So can I index them by 0? So that's a very important question. So pdf get page 0, right? So, and we get the page. But the problem here, it's option, right? So it is option. But I think we're gonna unwrap this entire stuff. Unwrap. And I'm gonna even expect. Maybe not, right? Because whether we have this page or not depends on the user input. So that means it could be a runtime error. So let's do the following thing: if let some page, right? So this is the page, and then we can do something like this: println, right? So let's just simply to content, and the content is equal to page get text, right? So let me actually create a separate tab. So this is going to be a separate tab. Get text, and it can also fail to have any text, which is kind of interesting, right? If you don't have any text, you could have just returned an empty thing in here. That's fine. So let's do this thing. Get text, and here we can do eprintln, right? Eprintln error pdf path does not have page. Let's call it something like n, right? And let's create n equal to 0, and let's put n in here. There we go. I think that's very good. Okay, so this one didn't work, and here I suppose what I have to do, I have to just return error. So we're gonna have in here. It just returned the text with spaces and new lines. It's like exactly what I needed. And it also has these new lines and stuff like that, but this is because I just printed like a debug print, right? I'm pretty sure if I just do something like this. By the way, I wonder if I can do a little bit of a monadic bind. Yeah, so there is an operation called and then, right? So then I can do page, and then within the page I'm gonna do get text, right? So in here I can have the content, and then I can just print the content like this. So as you can see, get page returns an option, and get text also returns an option. So you can kind of chain them together with and then, which is similar to bind operation in monad, like in Haskell, right? So you can do monads in Rust, right? So Rust does have monads. Right, so let's actually try to print it properly and see how it goes. Get page, that one actually kind of weird. Can it return reference to function page? Huh, that didn't work. to function. This is not really a function, is it? Because if you get the page, right? So you get page, you get Poppler page. All right. So maybe there is no and then for option. I'm pretty sure there is and then for option. Or maybe I'm just going crazy. So let's do rust up doc. Rust up doc. PDF monad, yeah, exactly. It's a PDF monad. Let me take a look at the option. Okay. Yeah, there isn't then, right? So when it accepts a function that accepts a value, original value of that thing, and returns a new option, and that's precisely what we expect in here. And then we can get the text. So I don't really understand what the hell is going on in here, honestly. Returns a reference to data owned by current function. And I suppose get page returns an actual, yeah, it just like moves the value out of this thing. And then this thing returns a reference. So I suppose it just doesn't live long enough. Right, so the page object simply doesn't live long enough. Yeah, so it needs to be owned somehow, unfortunately. But I suppose the easiest way would be like I thought to demonstrate pretty epic monadic bind, and the lifetime screwed me over. Lifetime screwed me over. Okay, so that's fine. So we can do something like this then. Page, and then maybe I'm gonna just do something like this, right? So if let some content page get text. Alright, so I can just do something like this. So that's the easiest thing to do in here, I'm pretty sure. So, and that should also print new lines and stuff like that. There we go. It did work, right? It did in fact work. So, yeah, Poppler is actually precisely what we need, but unfortunately, we have to pay a huge price. So that's basically the dependencies that we introduced. We didn't have those dependencies before, by the way. So let me actually stash everything we have right now. Right, so I stashed everything and just do cargo tree. Right. So this was the cargo tree before I introduced Poppler. Just to read PDF files, this is the dependencies that we have. Like before we try to read PDFs. Right, so... right. So, and now I'm gonna do it one more time. So this is the dependency tree that we have now, just by introducing one single thing. People don't think about it too much, right? So like, especially in the web world, you just slap like a framework and you think it is free. It is freaking free. And then you get this. So this is just one single small dependency to add a support to a new format. Like without support for that format, with that support for that format. And here's an interesting thing. So this is my problem, right? We don't need even half of any of this. We don't need majority of this stuff, because some of this stuff is like Cairo. Right. Do you guys know what is a Cairo? Right, so if you Google up what is a Cairo, it's a vector graphics library. We are just trying to read the text. Why the fuck do we need vector graphics library to just extract some text out of the PDF? The reason why we depend on that is that because Poppler is basically a PDF viewer as a library. It was designed for making your own PDF viewers. You just basically make a wrapper around it, you create a window, you just use this library, and there you go, you get a PDF viewer. Right. So that's why we have a lot of stuff that is not needed in here. And that's why I was spending so much time researching. How can I just work around that? Because I don't even need half of this stuff. But it's just like, there's no way. Other alternatives are just like either slow or broken or something like that. So that's the only thing we have. Right. So just reverse engineer to get what you want. Yeah, I was thinking about that. I was thinking about just maybe go inside of this library and just extract only the parts that I need. So, yeah. It is what it is, and it isn't what it isn't. So we're gonna just use that, and maybe I'm gonna just like research how we can get rid of the majority of this stuff, but yeah. So I just want to have at least something working already. So anyway, so I think I want to make a small break, right? I want to make a cup of tea. And after a break, we're going to try to integrate this entire thing into the indexing process, right? So because we have like a function that does the dispatching depending on the extension in here, right? There we go. So we have a special function called parse entire file by extension. It checks the extension, and depending on the extension, it just like dispatches to different passes. What we'll have to do in here, we'll have to add PDF in here, right? Parse entire PDF file. File path. And this function, the implementation of this function will use Poppler. It will just extract all of the text out of the PDF and just pass it to like the rest of the indexer, right? So this is how we're going to hook up a new format to the indexer. And we'll see how it goes, right? And we'll see how it goes. Okay, so let's make it break and... All right, so let's go ahead and implement the parse entire PDF file, right? So it's going to have the same signature as these things, right? So it's going to accept the file path, right, which is going to be a reference to path, and should return result, string, or nothing, right? So essentially at the place of error, we return unit because the error is supposed to be handled within this function, right? Because we know that the caller of this function is not really concerned with exact error that happened in here, right? It only concerned with the fact that error has happened, so we only care about bubbling it up, right? So because this is a business logic, this is not a library, which has to be super generic, as generic as possible. That's why we're not really concerned with explaining to the caller of the function what exactly has happened, right? So because we know that the caller will not care. Okay, so what we have to do in here, we have to just basically read the file, right? So we're gonna use Poppler. Maybe I can even just copy paste this entire stuff. Yeah, there we go. So we read the file, and if the error has happened, we just return that. I'm really like happy how I can just copy paste this code without really worrying about adapting different kinds of errors, right? Because I consume errors like log errors and forget about them, right? Because of that, the pieces of code becomes really copy pastable between different contexts and stuff like that. Right. Okay. So yeah, somebody asks result unit and not option, and this is because result is not really returnable from here. So there was a reason for that. I already forgot why I did it like that. So I remember like option was not particularly convenient to use, right? But I already forgot why. And that's why I'm using result. Which is kind of funny. It's one of these cases when I essentially notice that, oh, I could have just done it like that, right? I could have just used option, but I don't remember why I didn't use option. I will start converting my code to option, and then I will go, ah, that's why, right? And then I'm gonna continue developing, and then I forget again. It's one of those cases. It happens to me quite often. It's just like I do very like think in a very specific way, but I don't remember why I do that unless I try to refactor it, and then I remember, and then I forget again, right? It's just like I do it like that, but I don't remember why. There was a reason, and I couldn't be bothered to remember why. Maybe leave a comment. I'm not sure if I care about Rust that much to actually leave comments about this kind of stuff. So, okay, wait a second. So I'm doing something weird in here. Okay, so let's continue. So we read the PDF. So get pages number. So I have to go back here. So I need to get the amount of pages, right? So I need to get the amount of pages. Get n pages, right? So n PDF get n pages. It just returns this entire thing. So that means I could just do 0 to n, right? So this is 0 to n, and I can start getting the pages. If let some page, which I suppose is going to be present, right? I would expect it won't be able to get the page if we are outside of the range, right? So if you try to do something like get page n, I'm pretty sure it won't work because it's out of bounds, right? So it's basically out of bounds. Maybe because of that, it makes sense to just put expect in here, or just like literally unwrap. Expect, can I say I is within the bounds of page, of the range of the page, right? So something like that, and it will give us the page here. Right, and then we should be able to get the text, right? But if we can't get the text, maybe we shouldn't care, right? So if let content, right, and we're gonna put it in here, right. Emacs is slow. What the fuck is going on? It's just like very laggish, right? It's just like it doesn't respond quick enough on my keystrokes. Okay, so content, I need some sort of a buffer in here, so I'm gonna call it result, so this is a string new, and I wonder if I can just do append. I don't remember how it is. Yeah, so there's a push str. Alright, so there's a push str, and I want to push the content in here, right? So push str, and just in case, I'm gonna also push similarly like a character in here, just to separate different pages with extra space, right? Because I remember that I had a problem with XML in here, that if you don't do that, some of the words get concatenated, so they create tokens that are not there, right? So just like glues together words that shouldn't be together, right? So just in case, I'm going to just put a space in here. So let me try to see what we have to do next, right? So this is going to be okay. Result. So let me see. It's going to be built. Okay. So no PDF path. So we're going to do file path in here. So this is a file path. What else do we have? So cannot be formatted. So I suppose what I have to do is file path equal file path display. Okay, that's cool. So probably I don't remember if expect actually like kind of works, right? So let me see. Expect, I think it's not going to work because it's not a macro, right? Just like the fact that I have to keep isn't it option? Wait, option doesn't have expect? This is because I'm looking at the wrong. Yeah, I'm looking wrong. So yeah, it is basically just accept strict. So I have to do something like format, something like this. There we go. Okay, so let me see. So this one has to be something like this. So that should basically work already, right? So this is the entire, believe it or not, this is the entire implementation, right? Must be. It must be the entire implementation. So how can we test all of that? We can create a separate folder with PDFs, right? So, and that folder is going to contain this thing, right? So let me remove this entire stuff. And the Stallman one, right? So I'm gonna move it like this. And here we have just an index.json, so I suppose I want to remove that. Yeah, and I'm gonna run serve PDFs. There we go. So Poppler, get page, assertion, something, something. So 0 is within out of bounds. Okay, so something wrong has happened. Parse entire PDF file. So the main problem here, okay, so I see, that's actually pretty cool. Right, so let's do that one more time. Okay, so did it index everything? Hopefully. So indexing the, yeah, okay, so it finished indexing, which is nice. Can I now search for Linux? Okay, so it's funny that even for Linux, it actually ranked the GPT thingy higher anyway. Well, to be fair, GPT is such a huge PDF that, like, I'm not actually surprised. One of the things we can try to maybe do, we can put it inside of the docs.gl, right? So we can put it inside of the docs.gl, right? So to be able to compare with the rest of the document, right? So maybe I'm gonna call it Sparks of AGI, right? So this is gonna be Sparks of AGI, right? So because the search engine only displays the file names, right? Right, and let's see how it's going to actually work with all that. So I mean, I don't have to really wait. I can just refresh this entire thing, and linear interpolation, right? Interpolation. So we can see that. Okay, so it's stuck on some big document, which is GLXML. So this is one of the problems that I'm aware of, right? So basically it blocks on each document. So and while it indexes one particular document, you can't really do anything, right? If I do GPT, it still doesn't know anything about GPT, GPT-4 maybe. Intelligence, right? Still doesn't know. Did it index the PDF? Maybe it still didn't index the PDF, so we'll have to wait a little bit until it indexes everything. Let's just wait. I should have actually. Okay, so it found the Sparks of AGI, which is nice. RW lock over mutex could be a solution. How? If you have two threads, what's the point? I mean, one thread always writes and another thread always reads. How RW lock is going to help in here? I thought it actually helps when you have several readers. Like, we don't have several readers. We have only one reader. And only one writer. So, I don't know. Like, I mean, I'm not a professional with multi-threading, but I have a feeling that it's not going to make any difference. Right. So, okay. Intelligence. Artificial. There we go. GPT. It found GPT. So if I do linear interpolation, right, it finds the interpolate, mix, and if I do GPT, it finds the Sparks of AGI. So it actually ranks the documents relevant, including like PDF and stuff like that. This is actually kind of cool. Yo, what the fuck? I think we need to add more things in there. So let's actually add another GPT thingy. Attention is all you need, right? So this is another legendary paper, right? So you can find it in here. This is basically the paper that started it all, as far as I know, right? So it basically introduced the, you know, generative pre-trained transformers. So I'm gonna put it in here as well. So let's download this entire thing. Is it as big as the Sparks of AGI? No, it's only 15 pages, not that much, which is okay. Right, so let's do something like attention is all you need. There we go. So we downloaded this entire thing. And let me do the following stuff. So I'm gonna do move attention, move it in here. There we go. So let's try to serve it one more time. So yeah, this is GPT. Attention. Right, attention is all you need. And also, look at that. It also includes sparks of AGI as well. Right, if you just put GPT in here, it only includes like sparks of AGI. For some reason, it doesn't really include the attention. Does attention is all you need even include GPT? All right, so let me see. Let me actually search for this kind of stuff. It doesn't. Right, attention is all you need doesn't include the thing GPT, the sequence of characters GPT, which is kind of interesting, right? But just attention actually brings up like both of these things, right? That's actually kind of cool. I really like that. Attention is specifically the T in GPT transformer model, yeah. Transformer model. It put attention as all you need in here, but yeah, transformer actually yeah brings up the OpenGL stuff, right? So the reason why I test all of that is because I want to be able to mix up documents with different topics, right? Because I have a lot of different PDFs, HTMLs and stuff like that on different topics, like completely opposite topics, and I want to be able to throw them into a single folder somewhere, right? And then search between them. So, and as you can see, this particular thing works well, right? So again, OpenGL related stuff like frame buffer. All right, so it gives me the frame buffer OpenGL related stuff. If I want to do something like GPT, it brings up the white papers. So that means I can mix up OpenGL documentation with GPT papers. Just mix them up and search between them quite easily, right? Because this entire system actually, you know, distinguishes different topics and stuff like that. So that's kind of cool. So you write this program to sort out the mess that is your file system. Not really sort out, but actually preserve the mess. So I'm making the problem worse than it is already. Okay, so it would be kind of nice to have some other papers in here, but what kind of papers? Does anyone have any interesting papers on different topics? I can think of something like arena allocator. So let's actually go back in time. Let's actually go back in time and look at some old papers, right? So this is a modern stuff already, but let's take a look at something very, very old from 70s or something like that. So here's the region arena allocator, and it was introduced in one of these papers. Right, so is there, I don't know, fast allocation, deallocation, I think this one, but I'm not quite sure. Okay. Can I just download the PDF? Maybe not. So another... I remember there was another paper on Beach. The problem with old PDF papers is that they are usually scans. They're usually scans. What every programmer needs to know about memory? I don't really know what is that, but let's actually Google that. What every programmer needs to know about memory from FreeBSD. I never heard about this paper. What is this? Yo, maybe I should read that. Yo! What the fuck? Okay, so let's actually download that. Thank you. I never heard about this paper. Is that like a legendary paper of some sort? Yeah. Okay, so let me actually put that in the description for anyone who's interested. So maybe I might as well actually do something like PDF papers. PDF papers. Right, and here we're going to do something like this. Right. It's something super famous. I've never heard about it. Right, so that's kind of interesting. CPU memory. Okay, let's try to reindex this entire thing. What is it talking about? Talking about RAM, some other stuff. Okay, so it finished this entire thing. Alright, so if I put RAM in here, yeah, it's CPU memory. GPT, sparks of AGI, transformer. It's not gonna find anything. Attention. What's funny is that it also contains attention. CPU memory. I wonder what exactly about the attention is in there. New PDF. Attention. Does it contain? No, it doesn't really contain that. So I don't know why it actually brought it up, but it brought it up anyway. I never read it actually, too long. It's like with the Knut books, right? So the Knut books, they are famous because you're supposed to buy them, you're supposed to put them on your shelf, but you're not supposed to read them, right? So you're supposed to just have them lying around, right? So to look like you're a professional software developer and you know what you're doing. But nobody reads those books. Like, I mean, there's like 4 like thick books. Nobody got time to read all of them. Like, come on, right? So that's the same thing in here. So, but that would be interesting. So I'm gonna actually put that into my like to-do list to read about this kind of stuff. My Knut book is under the speaker, too much for me. Yeah, it's actually very informationally dense as well, right? So it's just like it's also very difficult to read. There's a Knut covers to buy with just empty pages. God damn! Imagine like dedicating your entire life, and he pretty much dedicated his entire life to writing like these books, like detailed books about you know, computers, programming and developing software, and nobody reads that, right? It's just like nobody got time for that. I'm sorry, we're living in a different age, in the age of internet, you know, Google searches and GPT. It's just like, no. Nobody's gonna read that. But maybe somebody's gonna read that. I mean, we can train language models on those books. Yeah, so they're useful, yeah, because you can now like train a language model and then just ask the language model what's in the book, right? So, because, yeah, that's actually a cool thing. Because now we can basically query knowledge as a database, right? Imagine that you have a huge database, like a PostgreSQL database. What you're gonna do? You're gonna read each individual table and each individual row one by one to find the necessary information? Seriously? Would you really do that? No, you would write an SQL query. The same with human knowledge. We created databases of human knowledge called LLMs. So nobody's gonna like read an entire knowledge. You just write a query to that knowledge and you extract only the information that you need. That makes sense to me, I think. Yeah. So why reading books if you can query the books? You have a specific problem and you query the database, the knowledge database, which is LLM. Makes sense to me. Anyways. So I think the time has come to do a committee, and maybe even a pushy. That's for sure. So we're capable of parsing PDFs. I wish I had more PDFs in here, but it is what it is. So what the hell is going on in here? Oh yeah, okay. So I'm in a wrong repo, right? So because I look at this repo and like, what the fuck is this? It's neither master nor main. It's a main line. I never call my branches like that, but this is a completely different repo. This is a repo for docs.gl, right? So this is not my repo. Anyways, so what I want you to do in here, right? So, and this is basically the change, right? So this was an entire change to add, you know, support for a different format, right? So, but the amount of dependencies that we added is magnitudes bigger than we had before, right? So you may think that the only change we did is this, and that's why this kind of deceives you, doesn't it? Right? So because this is the entire change, and you think, oh yeah, it's so the dependencies are actually free, right? You just add another dependency, just a little bit of code, and you're good to go. The dependencies are literally free, but that is very, very deceiving, right? So let me again reiterate. So this is the dependency tree before the change. This is the dependency tree before the change, right? Then we made the change, right? So we just made the change. Not that much changed, right? So just a little bit of code. And this is now the dependency tree. So this is how it looks like now. So this is the source of a real danger. This is how your node modules grows up uncontrollably, because you only pay attention to the source code that you modify in your project. Right, you see the modification and you think, oh, it's a very small change, it costs nothing. No, it doesn't cost nothing, it costs that. As soon as you start seeing this kind of stuff, you start rethinking what the fuck you're doing with the dependencies. Right, so I think the main problem, the main cause of this like NPM disease is that because people just don't see the cost that they add in, and it piles up over time. So of course right now it's not going to cause that much problem, but imagine like every small little feature is going to add this amount of dependencies every single time. Just how quickly it's going to go out of control. I don't know. So anyways, and you can also see the amount of dependencies in here in the log file as well, right? So, and by the way, I'm not saying that using dependencies is something bad, right? Because people are thinking in black and white, right? So it's either good or bad. No. I'm not saying that using dependencies is bad. I'm just saying that you have to be aware of the price that you're paying, right? So if that's a good price for like the problem that you solve, then yes. But then quite often people just ignore the price completely, right? Okay. So we're gonna do in here add PDF files support, right? Okay, so I'm gonna push that right into the repo, and there we go. We have a PDF file support. Isn't that great? Isn't that cool? I think it's pretty freaking cool. All right. So I think I wanna finish the stream a little bit earlier, right? Because yesterday was April Fool's stream and I streamed like overtime, like more than 3 hours. That was a little bit difficult for me, so maybe I'm gonna finish everything a little bit earlier today, right? I think today was a pretty interesting stream. We had a plot twist. I thought I'm gonna use one library, but it turned out I had to use a different library. And overall, it actually worked out great, right? So this entire thing worked on PDF files as well, right? So, and today I'm gonna try to index my documents folder with a shit ton of different like PDFs and HTMLs and stuff like that, and see how it works, how well it works. So I think that's gonna be fun. Okay, does anyone have any questions before I go? So how difficult it is to write Rust for someone that understands it well compared to Python, and how does the learning curve compares to Python? Why do you ask me a question that you could have just answered yourself? Right, is that it's you who must answer that question, not me. How difficult would Rust be to you, right, compared to Python? Just try it. It's like, it's up to you to answer the question, not me. Time investment. You think you're gonna get shit for free in life? Good luck, buddy. So, do you plan to make streams where you'll use Kotlin? I already did streams where I used Kotlin. But it was like a long time ago. To be fair, the problem with the JVM languages is that my computer is already slow, right? So my laptop is already dying when I just program in Rust, and Rust is supposed to be faster than JVM languages. Every time I mix in JVM language to my streams, it becomes even worse, right? It becomes even worse. What a useful web page in Rust? I'm using JavaScript. I'm not really sure what you mean, but I serve the pages with tiny HTTP. Alright, so let me see. Yeah, that's the dependency I use. This is a tiny HTTP, and it's a very small HTTP server. It's not even a web framework. We kind of build a custom small web framework around this entire thing. Right, so yeah, we even create like a custom router, right? So literally, we take a request, we take the URL, and we have just match, and we match between them, and we just dispatch to different functions in here. We like literally implemented like everything from scratch in here. Right. Do I plan to use BP tokenization in Carrots? I'm not sure. We'll see. I need to finish research on how to use BPs. How you compile in Emacs with compile buffer command? Well, I just go to my Emacs and I issue a compile command. And I just put my compilation command in there. And that's how I compile with compile command. I just call the compile command. That's how you compile with compile command. You call compile command. It's as simple as that. So all right, so I guess that's it for today. Thanks everyone who's watching me right now. I really appreciate that. Have a good one, and I see you all next time. I love you. Mwah.